This review is presented by EVDANCE and The Perfect Gloss.
That's all spin, it's kicking in. Shoot your skin and take your leash. Do you know who you are? If you want to show you what's good, I can see what you've seen.
Kicking off the motorcycle review season with an adventure bike. And here we are with the segment that is just so popular. They are almost outselling every other bike, and for good reason. They are so practical, they are good to sit on, you sit comfortable, you sit high, you see so well all around. There is no drama about them, they just work so well, and they are so versatile. And versatility, that is something that becomes even more important in bikes. You want to do so much more. You want to go on long travels, you want to put on kit on them, you want them to be highly technological, and highly technological is what this one is. And the specific bike that I'm reviewing this time is the brand new BMW R1300GS Adventure. And Adventure, well, that means a little bigger, a little more equipped, and a little more forward in the adventure segment. And I mean, just behold it. This is something for the hardcore adventurer. I like adventure bikes. The only problem with some of the adventure bikes is that they are rather high. And being 175 centimeters, that can be a little challenge sometimes. When you're on the move, then there's no problem whatsoever. They are so simple to drive. There is like no drama whatsoever. But this one has not been any problem at all. But still, it weighs a lot, this one. 269 kilos. It's got this new boxer engine, 1300cc, delivering 145 horsepower, 149 newton meters of torque. Newly tweaked, newly developed shift cam technology, which gives it a broad span of that great torque that you really need when you drive off-road. But on-road, this just feels like a very high performance bike in some way. You can have so much fun in different environments with this bike, even though you go for different tires. And what's very special about this one is that it's got the ASA, automatic shift assistant, which means that it's an automatic shifter. There is no clutch lever on this one, and that makes you feel a little strange in the beginning. So it almost becomes like a scooter when you roll off. So it has an automatic clutch system, and also this gearbox sits a little lower than before. So your left hand just becomes obsolete. It doesn't need to do anything. You can just sit here and enjoy the heated grips. And the best thing about it is that it works so perfect. I mean, you can put in the different modes. You got different drive modes. You got Eco, you got Rain, you got Road, and you got Dynamic. You got Dynamic Pro, and you got Enduro and Enduro Pro. There's so many driving programs on this one. And it works out how hard you want to drive. So you can, of course, shift about whenever you want, but you can also go into manual, so it clinches on to the gears, but it also determines how long you should stay in a gear or how quickly it should gear or gear down, depending on what type of drive mode you're in. So if you drive in Eco, if you drive in Road, which should be a bit more comfortable, then it gives you this perfect slip and it changes. You can hear a little clonk just as you gear yourself, but it works very good. And if you have a passenger on it, it doesn't become that juddery in any way, so you knock into each other's helmets. It's just so smooth to roll off in the auto drive with this automatic shift assistant. I mean, it is like an automatic gearbox in many ways. Now we're driving in road. Road mode is just a comfortable mode. It just makes everything rather relaxed. The setting is okay for the dampers. And everything just becomes smooth, just like riding a scooter or something like that. It's just so carefree. And I mean, just understand why these bikes are so popular. You sit that high, you sit that comfortable, you have such good vision all around, and it's
so drama-free in some way. You know exactly where to lean and where to put it in, and this handlebar is just great. I mean, it's wide and you can stand up and it still feels perfect for your arms. So if you have this speedometer in front of you, you just push this hamburger button, as they call it, and here you can set some of the settings like grip heating, and yeah, I have that in 3 now, so I need to dial that down to off because it's, yeah, they're hot, but that is good. The other day it was rather cold. I had it in 2 and I was just completely warm on my hands because I have these gloves now, which are, yeah, they breathe a little, so they can become cold. But the best thing is that you got this protector here as well. So together with the heated steering grips, together with this shield here, well, it protects you from the wind and from the rain. That is also very, very comfortable. So you just set these, and whenever you have that set and you go back to the menu and you push up and down on the last setting that you had, and there you just adjust it. So hamburger, and then we can get the windscreen okay on that, and then we can raise that if we want to do that. And this windscreen is just so good. It keeps away all the wind that you need to stand up to feel that drag coming, so it really flows over your head and your helmet. Really, really nice. And they've worked with these shields here as well, so all the dirt, all the wind, all the water, or whatever the environment is serving up, it just flows all around you. Getting out on the motorway like this, well, then it's just great having this windscreen up. Very smooth. When you drive at lower speed sometimes and you don't have that much throttle, then it might be a little jerky, but that's just what it is. I mean, you can't ask for that much. It's not like it is an automatic gearbox in that way. It is just like a shifter that helps you automatically. But I think it just works well. In the beginning I thought it was, this feels a little strange because you have no clutch on this one. So you just need to get used to it. And now I got used to it after 5 minutes. So it was just fine.
I mean, you can put in the different modes. You got different drive modes. You got Eco, you got Rain, you got Road, and you got Dynamic. You got Dynamic Pro, and you got Enduro and Enduro Pro. There's so many driving programs on this one. And it works out how hard you want to drive. So you can, of course, shift about whenever you want, but you can also go into manual, so it clinches on to the gears. But it also determines how long you should stay in a gear or how quickly it should gear or gear down, depending on what type of drive mode you're in. So if you drive in Eco, if you drive in Road, which should be a bit more comfortable, then it gives you this perfect slip and it changes. You can hear a little clonk just as you gear yourself, but it works very good. And if you have a passenger on it, it doesn't become that juddery in any way, so you knock into each other's helmets. It just works so very, very well. I'm very, very impressed by it. And when you drive in Dynamic or Dynamic Pro or Enduro Pro, and you need to give it maximum attack and it needs to give you maximum performance, well, it stays on the gear for a rather long time until it really needs to change. So it becomes like a sporty automatic or a PDK or something in a very high performing sports car. And at some stages, if you want to be a bit more involved, well, then you just push this manual button here and it goes into manual. The center stand is electric, so you push it down and it helps you to bring it up. There is the regular GS 1300. It's more aimed for the road. You don't have that long travel in the suspension as on this one, and you don't have that big tank as you have on this one, 16 liters compared to this one, which is 30 liters. So you can go the distance with this one, and that's what it's aimed for. And that's what it's called, Adventure. So it's a lot wider, and you can get so many accessories put onto these bikes and so much technology that you almost get so spoiled that it feels like, am I driving a motorcycle nowadays? Now you got traction control, now you got ABS, you got lean ABS, you got systems that cut off the wheelies and much more. And on this one, you got matrix headlights, really strong, good headlights. We got the handlebar covers. We also got this big screen. They've been working a lot with the aerodynamics with this screen, so it almost feels like you're totally covered from wind and dust, rain and everything. Really good. And you can adjust that in different heights. Extra provided lights and also protectors for the radiator, cover for the undercarriage. A little more off-road focused tires. You can get Metzeler tires. These are Michelin, and the Metzeler tires, they're even more rugged and more off-roadish. And of course, you can get more road suited tires as you get standard on the GS. This one is also equipped with the innovation package. So that means that you have sensors here and in the back. With the cruise control, you can also set the distance to the vehicles in front of you, so it breaks down just like in a car, and that works so good. Just turn on the cruise control and relax, and it will just set the speed accordingly. And if that car moves, or if you want to move around, if you got a higher set speed, well, then it will just increase it and pass. Phenomenal. And at the back, we also got a sensor, so it can sense if there is a car or another vehicle coming at higher speeds, so it warns you, and it also warns by flickering some of the lights, so the driver that comes behind you gets alerted. You got cross-spoke wheels on this one, sand and mud and everything when driving off-road, you know, runs through it a lot easier, and it's a bit more flexible. You can get rims that are more solid if you want, but these ones a bit better, and it suits this adventure bike a lot more.
And then we have the brakes. Yeah, of course, it's so stable. Strong, good brakes. Need to put some power into them, but then they really deliver some power as well. So there's performance enough. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.4 seconds. And it does well over 200 kilometers in top speed. But there's something about shifting on your own that is just fun. And get on the brakes and just put your weight to the other side, and it's there, and you're in a very sporty mode. This is enjoyable on all types of levels, this bike. And the power is there, the torque is there, so you don't need to worry anything about that. Dynamic Pro, well, you can feel that aggression is on top. That's where it really clinches onto the gears. If you have it in auto shift, and it almost gives you some sort of a rev match in between as well. Has so many different personalities to it. Comfort riding, action riding, off-road action riding, on-road, super sporty. Well, it's okay. It's not super sport. It's not like you get blinded by the speed, but it's just fine enough to have some fun. And that is due to that it has so much torque.
These aluminium bags, they are also extra, so it provides you with 73 liters, 36.5 liters each, and one of them also got some power distributed to it, so you can charge it with an USB. So these are really good, very easy to remove. You also got a lot of mounting points here if you want to put a tank bag here, and you can also put some bags all around. And you can also put on a top bag here, which is also electrically supported. So, I mean, going on travels on these bikes, well, it becomes very convenient. So it's also a completely new frame on this bike compared to the GS 1200, the predecessor. And it is so easy to maneuver this bike that it's crazy. Even though it weighs 269 kilos, and when you've loaded it up with fuel and some bags, and when you're sitting on it, well, it's over 300 kilos. Some competitors have a little less weight, but the thing is that more than 90% of buyers of these, they will be driving on the road. And when driving on the road, you want to have a big, steady bike. And therefore, they're keeping the weight. Even though the engine weighs 9 kilos less than the previous one, this one weighs a little more than the predecessor. But still, you get good traction when you go off-road because of the weight and how it manages all this weight and how balanced it is when standing up, when sitting down, and when just moving about at higher speeds. And the grip that you get from these tires, it's immense. And the spokesperson at bmwmotorrad, he also told me that you can go on a track day with these tires. They're so good. So you just need to rely on the bike. You need to be very definite when you drive. You can't be too scared of not going there. Should I really go up that hill? Should I throttle on here? No, you should just go for it. The bike sorts so much out for you. You can get it in 4 different colors. It's this racing red, there is a GS Trophy, triple black, and then an option color which is called Karakorum. That also looks really, really nice. But I like this in red. It feels a little more racy. And racy it is. It has a very wide span of torque and it feels very, very revvy. So you can drive it with a lot of ambition, real good character of a boxer engine. But when driving at higher speeds, it is a bit noisy actually. So even though you're in 6th gear driving at 120, 130, it sounds a lot, but at the same time it is fun because it gives you a lot of energy when you really want to thrash it a bit more.
Well, you can feel it tickle a little when flooring it. It is fun. And it's so good driving on a gravel road like this. It bites almost as good as on the road. When you drive it in enduro, you got perfect engine braking. And that rapid response from this box engine with a low center of gravity just makes this the type of cross bike. Also, when you get in behind someone that is almost in a standstill, look at this. Well, it breaks down. I don't think it comes to a complete halt, so you need to brake the last 10 kilometers an hour or something. I mean, just have it like this, in cruise control. It just rides on itself. Shouldn't be driving without holding your hands, but I'm just showing you how stable it is, how it works, how it downshifts in its own way.
And of course it's very fast. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour is done in 3.4 seconds. It does well over 200 kilometers an hour, and the combined consumption is fairly good, 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers. You have keyless go, so you just jump on it, start it, and then you are greeted with this little screen in front of you, which is just great. Good colors, very good graphics, it's quick. You might feel that, whoa, this is a big tank. Can I manage that? Or how will I sit? But you just sit in such a perfect position. And the best thing when you're stepping on the bike, especially for me that isn't that tall, because they say that 180 centimeter drivers, well, they feel just comfortable by having this lifting system. So it lowers 30 millimeters. And then when you're starting to roll off, well, then it lifts itself up. And when you stop, it lowers again. So that is very thankful. But I'm 175 centimeters, so that helps me, of course. But you can see here that on some different levels on the ground, and this is the downside for shorter drivers on adventure bikes when you sit that high. You got a little pocket here in front of you. You can put your phone down here. You also got a USB charger. And up here, you have this BMW Motorrad app integrated system. You can put your phone here, or you can get a little tablet from BMW that you put in here. And this is also an induction charger. Different drive modes on the button here. You got an SOS calling system. If it falls over, well, it calls automatically. So you need to cancel it in a couple of seconds, or they will just call you. And if it would fall over, these protectors, well, it makes it not fall over completely, just halfway. So it's a lot easier to pick up. The handlebar is a thing of joy. I mean, it doesn't matter how short you are or how tall you are, you just sit in a perfect position, really relaxed. You never get fatigue in any situation on this bike, and even when you stand up, you can reach them so well. I like these small, neat mirrors. You also got a warning indicator, so if someone comes from the side and you can't really see them, it warns. And as usual on a BMW, you have this scrolling knob here, which just makes it such a breeze to run through the menus. In the beginning, it's a little difficult, it's a little messy of how do I get into the right menu, but after a while, when you've been fiddling about with it, you're into it and it goes so quickly. You got two settings here for the damping, which you can set, road or dynamic, so it stiffens up a little more. You can also get the dynamic suspension adjustment on this one, which calibrates if you go off-road or if you're on the normal road, and it does that automatically for you. If you want to connect your phone, you can do that, media, navigation, and if you get into this sport, you get some analytics of your dynamic traction control. You get a meter here, and you also got a meter on your brake. So really good to monitor if you like that when you drive a bit sporty, and you have this great rev counter here. And vehicle settings, so you can preset 4 driving modes if you want to have Eco, Rain, Road Dynamic, Dynamic Pro, Enduro, Enduro Pro. Well, you can set 4 of them here, which you quickly change on the driving mode button. And Dynamic Pro, well, you can get into configuration there, and Enduro Pro is just the same. If you want, you can get twin mufflers from Akrapovic if you want a bit meatier sound, but I think that the sound on this one is just enough. It sounds so good when throttling away. So the Adventure model costs from 230,000 Swedish crowns, and of course, put on a lot of options on it, equipment, and it becomes a bit more expensive. But still, you get a very technical package, and it is a package for the adventurer, this one, really. And it just becomes more and more fun each day you drive it. And it just feels like I want to gravitate towards more off-roading when I drive it, because you can feel how capable this one is. I've just been driving on some gravel roads and mostly on the regular roads, but still, that is just fun enough.
The saddle is also comfortable. It is sporty hard, but I haven't even noticed riding on it, so it just gives me this sporty, comfortable sort of saddle that isn't too wide, that isn't too thin, and it just has enough stuffing for me to feel relaxed, but yet fresh and active when driving. And this is what you want to explore on these type of bikes. You want to get out into the outskirts. You want to feel like you can go exactly everywhere without being worried that, oh, am I gonna get stuck? Or won't I have enough grip going off-road on that gravel road, or maybe into some deeper sand? On this one, you can really do about anything. And that makes for a very safe bike, a trustworthy type of investment, and then you also got a brand that feels very premium, and that means a lot for customers, especially in this adventure segment that is so immensely popular.